Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know what time it is. It's coilover time. We got to get these coilovers mounted up. To be completely honest, I'm kind of sick of working on suspension. It's been a long time that we've been tinkering with this, trying to get it all dialed in. So today we are going to finish it all up, other than we don't have our permanent links in. Those are being built right now, but we can build all the mounts for the coilovers, get those mounted up. That is the game plan. What we got for the front, I have a set of 16-inch Radflow coilovers. We're going to use these for the front. Like I said previously, for the rear, we're going to just use the 16s to mock up the rear. And then once we have all the mounts built and everything, we'll go through and measure what we need. Honestly, I probably could have got away with a 14 on the front, but you know what they say? They say if you have the room to mount a 16, you can limit the travel of a 16 to, say, 13, 14 inches. But the added benefit, apparently, this is what I've read anyway, the added benefit is they have a lot more oil in them, having a taller shock, so they don't get as hot. So I guess 16s are gonna work, even if we do have to limit those a little bit. I think they're gonna be just fine. And then, like I said, we're gonna have to measure out the rears once we get those all mocked up. So let's jump right into this one. First things first, I'm gonna mount up the lower mounts on the axle. I'm gonna mount these things as far outboard close to the sea as I can, just because they say it's a lot more stable having your shocks mounted out, and then they're obviously going to angle in a little bit, probably 5-10 degrees angled in to the upper mounts. Hey, I got to stop you guys real quick. I know a lot of you were interested in the 2nd and 3rd gen pickup and 4Runner hood struts. I finally got these things built. I finally got them in stock. Head over to the website, avrcustoms.com. Like I said, I got these things on the website, ready to go. I know I had a lot of people asking for these. They're finally here. Go check them out. And I'll also throw a link down to my website in the description box. Make it easy for you guys. Well boys, my OCD kicked in and I really don't like the look of this shock tower with just having it plain with no cutouts or anything. So what I'm gonna do, I already got this designed up, a little design on Fusion. I'm gonna pull this shock tower off. I'm gonna cut the tack welds on the sides of it just to get the back piece. We're gonna put that back on the table, get that all lined up, cut my little design into that, and then we can move on to the driver's side. The driver's side is gonna be way different because we have a steering shaft that literally goes through the middle of this coilover mount. So we're gonna have to do it cut out and then kind of just weld some plate in there to reinforce that back up. But it's gonna be a little more tricky, but we already got it designed. We're gonna cut that out. We're gonna get this thing welded in, and then we gotta flex this axle around, make sure everything clears with the shocks, the springs to the frame, the springs to the C. Actually, that is kind of close. I didn't realize how close it was going to be. Basically, the bottom collar on full stuff, that bottom collar is pretty close to the C, but I think we're going to clear by about 1/8 inch. But we won't know that until we get everything together. Alright guys, well originally I thought these 16-inch coilovers were going to be just massively too long. Like I said, I thought I had about 14 or so inches of travel. This coilover is completely extended at 40 inches. And this coilover here is, you can see, pretty much all the way collapsed. And I mean, we have room, everything is clearing. The only thing that's really close is that that bottom collar to the C right there. I got about a 1/16 of an inch, which, you know, it clears. So if it does end up hitting, I can just clearance that a little bit. Not a big deal, but I am stoked. Everything looks like it's gonna work perfect with how I mounted these coilovers. We got obviously room that side. What you wanna look for on this side is room to the frame here. And the spring is about a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch, I think, wider than this collar here. And I mean, we got like an inch back there. So plenty of space. We are looking really good. I am going to pull these back off now, completely weld them all in, get those solid, and then we'll tack them back on the frame. And then I do have one set of springs. These actually take 2 different springs, one down, one top. Basically, what you kind of want to do is just take a guesstimation on one spring. So I think I have a 250-pound spring. We're gonna put that on. Now it's gonna be kind of tricky to calculate the upper spring. So I think I'm just gonna have to honestly wait till I get the majority of the weight in this thing. That way I can kind of calculate the corner weight. That way we can choose our springs. So that's kind of the game plan. We do have, like I said, one set of springs. So I'm hoping that we could thread these all the way down and kind of use our one spring to hold up some of the weight. With these secondary adjusters all the way down here, I can put the nut there, and then that lower spring will go on the bottom. And I'm hoping that will hold some weight. So either way, let's get these coilover mounts back off. Oh, one thing, originally you guys saw me cut this back out and redo this upper mount here without having this shaft actually connected. You can see it's too long. I do have all the joints for it, but I'm waiting for the main shaft. I got to cut it off up there and re-weld that on, but it was looking very close, so I had to cut that up about another 3/8. I just don't want to have any clearance issues when I go put it together and it's all fully welded. I really don't want to have to cut that back apart, so I just clearance that a little bit more for now, and it's looking like we got a lot more room in there. Would you look at that, guys? We are back together, looking sweet. Now, I just have this little piece of tube here just for a little bit of a mock-up for bump stops. I bought the air bumps at 2.0s. This is a 2 1/4, so that'll give us room. But I think I'm gonna mount it right back here, and I'll just have to make a little standoff plate that welds on the axle down here, and we'll do all that. But we have to probably get the fender on just to make sure that we have enough up travel to get our up travel dialed in, so we can dial in our bump stops with the tire to the fender. I know we got plenty of room suspension wise, but I think the limiting factor is going to be the tire to the fender. So we got to figure out what we're doing fender wise. I may have to cut this thing apart, and I don't know, we'll see. I might just raise this up. We'll see. I got to get the fender back on, get the wheels, tires on, but that is another day's project. Well, that's it, guys. Front coilovers should be good to go. Now, next video, we got to tackle the rear. Like always, I don't have a plan yet whether I'm doing plate or tube. I don't really have any tube, so I may just do plate, and then when I do my cage, I can always tie in the roll cage into the shock mounts that they're gonna have to come up through the floor into the back, just because I'm probably gonna be running a 14 or 16-inch coilover, so they are gonna need to come way up into the actual cab. So the roll cage is probably gonna have to tie into that. It'll strengthen everything up. Also, as far as doing a cross brace in between those two, I do plan on it, but not yet. I wanna make sure that everything's gonna clear, so I wanna get the radiator in. I do have to make a new cross member for the frame up front. So once we get that, we'll get the front, basically the whole grill section in, get the radiator set in, and then I can try to squeeze a little cross brace between the two shock towers just to strengthen that up. And then we got to find a good spot to mount these external reservoirs, but that shouldn't be a big deal. That's all going to be down the road once we get kind of fenders on, kind of get the engine bay somewhat together. Then we can start mounting up the reservoirs and build that cross brace, all that kind of fun stuff. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Why don't you go smash that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.